welcome. My name is Brianna, where I film crochet, hobby, book content, all things of that nature. And if you like that kind of content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, I might be whispering because it is so early and I am also so sick, so if you see my eyes watering, that's why. Also, I have a new setup as well. I moved again. This economy is something different, let's just say that, and I've had to basically move back home kind of in my own way. As you guys know, I quit teaching, so like I'm currently looking for other roles. In the meantime, I need some time, you know, to restart. But I have been reading quite a few books since we last spoke. October was extremely busy. I honestly don't think I finished any books, like looking back. Like I was really planning for this video to really look back at all the things I've read and I couldn't find it. So these are the books that I finished in the month of November, and let's talk about them, and then let's talk about some books that I plan on reading for the rest of the year. So the first book that I finished was The Secret Garden by Frances Hudson Burnett, and I got the Barnes & Noble's like exclusive edition. It adds like gold sprayed pages, and The Secret Garden bloomed and bloomed every morning and revealed new miracles. So while this book is a classic and I understand it has like very old English writing, I was kind of bored. Like, I hate to admit that, like, as you guys, I don't know if you guys know, but I was a history teacher for a very long time, so I enjoy classics. I enjoy, you know, historical readings to help you kind of understand what was happening in the time period. But I also like to have fun, and I honestly feel like this novel was not fun, like, at all, like, not even in the slightest. Which is crazy to me because it is such a classic and like people called it very, you know, transportive and all that stuff, but I honestly just saw a really sad girl you know, like just trying to do her thing, but just like really sad. So I ended up not finishing the whole thing just because I got bored and there wasn't enough to like keep me enticed with the book. So yeah, but it basically follows a young lady by the name is Mary. This is where I got Mary quite contrary from, and her parents died of cholera, which was actually pretty interesting in the beginning, the retelling of that. And then she gets sent to a house with her uncle, huge house, but all the doors are closed and all the gardens are closed as well, and she basically finds a garden that she loves and she grows, and like I understand the message and all that, but I don't know, I get it, like I get the message, but I was just like, okay, like what else are we doing in this novel? So I unfortunately give this novel like a 2.5 stars. Like I think you have to be in a certain mood to read it. It just wasn't transportive to me, which is something that I look for in books. So the next book that I read was The Crescent Moon Tea Room by Stacy Savinsky, and this book follows 3 sisters, Violet, Anne, and Beatrix Quigley. Their mom passed away and they are left to this magical home where they run a tea shop where they give people their fortunes. The first half of the book, extremely interesting. Like you want to know who's getting what fortune, like how they're running this house. Like you learn all the backstories of all the different girls. They all have different paths, so that's really cool. The issue is that the conflict in this book is that the girls are cursed, and that the magical society is like, hey, we actually kind of don't like you, so you know what we're gonna do, we're gonna give you like an impossible task for you to figure out on your own, and if you don't figure it out, we're gonna close the shop. And I was just sitting there like, Okay, and like the first two people that they tried to figure out the task for like went poorly, and then one they figured out like that, and I was just sitting here like, bro, like where's the urgency? Like, if you like cozy books, I strongly suggest this book. But like, if you have a cozy novel with very little to no conflict, the writing has to be impeccable, and I honestly feel like it did not transport me enough, personally. So I'm also giving this a 2.5 stars because it really had me in the first half. Like, I read the whole thing and I was like really engulfed in the story, and then I just felt like, okay, like, can we kind of speed it up, please? Because I, like, where are we going here? Like, I'm bored. I'm bored. So the next book that I also did not finish is Fathom Folk by Eliza Chan, and this one is a set in a South Asian world called Tiankawi, where there are humans, sirens, sea witches, kelpies, and kappas, and I was expecting something else. I feel like this is more of a comeback to it. I started it, I got up to page 7. This is hilarious. And it just didn't, it wasn't doing it for me. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, it literally was not doing anything for me. And I was looking online, like good reads and all that stuff, and they were all also like, yeah, like this is not what I expected it to be. It's more like a novel about like struggle. Like, these different species are different races and they are treated like disrespectfully, and I guess it's supposed to be kind of like a metaphor for how society treats their like oceans nowadays. But like, if you're not intriguing the reader on the first few pages, like, that's crazy. So I definitely feel like it's a slower start and I definitely have to come back to it. So the next book that I read was Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. Now, I give this book a 5 out of 5, obviously, because it's Neil Gaiman, and it sets in this guy named Richard. Richard does everything that is told of him. His girlfriend Jessica basically runs him, and one day he's in the subway with Jessica and sees this girl half dying, and he's like, let me help her out. He helps her out. The next day he's realizing that this girl's kind of strange. Like, she looks kind of strange, like she could disappear, and he's like, this is weird. After she leaves and she's like, thank you for helping me, no one remembers him. So now he's on a quest of finding Dora on London Below, and he gets wrapped into her kind of main drama and conflict and the main assassins, and this whole world of London Below that is like very whimsical, very dystopian, very dark, very funny, very dark, very funny, but just overall amazing world building from Neil Gaiman. Like, what else can we expect from Neil Gaiman? And I give it a 5 out of 5. I thoroughly enjoyed this novel. I enjoyed the metaphors, I enjoyed the world building, everything about it. I had a great time. So the next book that I read that I don't have on me, but I am almost done with it, is The Time I Got Drunk and Used a Love Potion by Kimberly Lemming. And I read another book by Kimberly Lemming before and I absolutely loved it. So I was not surprised that I love this one too. Has a lot of spice in it, a lot of laughs, very, very black, which I enjoy, and just overall a good time. Like, that when you're reading a Kimberly Lemming book, you can guarantee that there's spice and that you're gonna laugh. Like, would I say it's the literary masterpiece of the year? Like, if you're not into things that could be a little imperfect, I suggest you don't read it. Like, no offense, but like The Secret Garden and like a lot of those classic novels, this book is not. This book is very, very unserious, and I think she knows that while still having a lot of the key literary details in there, you know, like plot, conflict, you know, no spelling errors, but like the writing sometimes can get a little bit untraditional, let's say. Something that I'm quite used to, obviously, and so I just always have a good time reading these. And her name is Bree. She's a cheese maker, and she accidentally throws a love potion at a werewolf, and like the biggest thing is like, oh my god, like, does he actually love me, or is it just a love potion? So they have that conflict, and then we find out that women are missing in the village, and it's like, yeah, well, like, it's a fun read. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like the conflicts are very fast, they're not really drawn out. However, the spicy scenes are, which is really funny to me, because it's like, how is the spicy scene like 10 pages and the conflict is like 2? But whatever, it's supposed to be enjoyable and entertaining, so I was extremely entertained reading that novel. So let's get into the books that I hope to finish by the end of the year. I thrifted this Neil Gaiman book called Coraline, which we are all familiar with, so I actually plan to listen to the audio book while I'm reading it, because I really want to be transported. Like, I want to live like the Christmas fantasy. Like, I know that this book is very Halloween spooky, but we passed that, so we gotta improvise, we gotta compromise, and I really want to know what the original story was like. So I'm definitely gonna read this. It's very short, and I'll let you know how it goes. I'm also looking forward to reading One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I've always wanted to read it, but it always just seemed a little too dark for me. I'm almost certain this is about a mental hospital, with the main character kind of going through the mental hospital. So I'm excited to see what this is. This is another classic, so I really hope that I enjoy it. Next, I would like to read Rip Van Winkle and the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and this is also an extremely short read that I hope to listen while I am reading. Another transformative novel, and I've actually never read it, so I'm excited to read it. And the last book is the J.K. Rowling Harry Potter. My boyfriend got me the Mina Lima version to really transport me. And as much as I love books, I was always a Percy Jackson girly. I was never a Harry Potter girly. So I never read Harry Potter, so I'm excited to kind of see what the hype is all about. I played Hogwarts Legacy and I actually beat it, so I know that I enjoy the world and I enjoy the magic of it all. Obviously, you guys know I love magic, I love fantasy, so I'm excited to see like what the novels were really like. I've also never seen the movies either, so I'm gonna have to read the book and then watch the movie this holiday season. But yeah, so those are my reads and to be reads. Once again, my name is Brianna. If you like this video, please make sure you like this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.